And we are live.
That's right.
Yes, we're live on Let's Think Podcast. As you already know, it's always formal for me to do
That's
this.
right. That's right.
Arise, giving all thanks and perfect praises unto Allah. Highest honors to his holy prophet. Honors to the forerunner, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Honors to
That's
the
right.
Moorish Science Temple of America. Honors to all leadership, past, present, and future. Honors to my leadership, Brother L. Portis L. and the Grand Sheikh, Sister M. Portis L. Honors to the administration. Honors to all, and I mean all, participating in the comprehensive program of uplifting fallen humanity. I'm Sheikh 7 Islam L.
Islam.
We in the building. We have our brother, Sharif Anael-Bey.
Islam.
There he is.
Got
Yes,
our
sir.
co-host, Brother Jarvis McGriffil.
And we got our co-host, Jarvis McGriffil. He's on time today. He's on time today.
Yeah, I like to surprise the folks,
there
every
you
once in a
go.
while,
There you
Yes,
go.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So today we're gonna do our first live reaction video.
Very first. I gotta tell the audience first. I wanna do the same. I want to first give praise to the great God Allah. Honors to the last prophet in these days, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to the forerunner, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Honors to my leadership, Brother R. Jones Bey and his assistant, Brother A. Hopkins Bey. Honors to the Moorish Science Temple of America. Honors to Let's Think Podcast and its creators and hosts. And honors to the audience. I just want to say real quick, people, this is really, 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 it's definitely our first reaction video, but this is truly reaction because I haven't seen the video yet.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? We all gonna watch it together.
There you go.
We
That's
got
right.
Everybody in the chat, whoever in the chat. I can't see it right now. Let me go look. I think we got Created a Boundless Universe was here, but they'll come in.
Oh, you already know.
They'll come in, of course. Let me go ahead and share to you to Facebook.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the same thing there, brother.
That's what I was doing just now. Setting it up.
Right.
Setting it all the way up.
Here we go. Yes, sir. Let me go ahead and put all of this. All right. All right. Oh, we got 8 people in the building. We got some people in the building. Islam, everybody in the chat, as you come in, do me a favor, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Please share. Get us in the algorithm so people will be aware that we're live. And yeah. Don't forget to support the super chat. If you can, support the Cash App. We need all the support we can get,
That's right.
Help your brothers. Islam. All right. So we have, I think you can see it on the screen. We have this brother. He has a YouTube channel called Deconstructing Christianity, and it seems like this brother is, one who takes an anti-religious stance, so to say. And it seems as though maybe he, because I watched a couple of his videos, I watched his channel, and I can tell that the brother watches Billy Carson.
Got you.
And the brother, and I found this quite interesting, because I did recognize, like, the brother seemed to be watching Billy Carson.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden, someone sent me this video. Someone sent it to me like, yo, man, check this brother out. I think he watched. I think he watching Billy Carson, and you know, Sharif was just on there. And now he's talking about Noble Jew Ali.
Oh boy. Oh really? Okay.
I said, oh, well, let me go look at it. And I went to look at it, and I say, well. Look what we have here.
Uh-huh.
So what we're gonna do?
Think they know.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna react to it. Right. And I think this video is not all about Jew Ali, but he speaks about Islam and goes into certain, you know. Let's just check it out. Let's just check it out.
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
I think we should just check it out.
Let's do it. Let me grab my Can we get to where
it's alarming because it demonstrates how easily people can be.
Let's go. Let's keep talking about, brother.
Why is this video alarming? It's alarming because it demonstrates how easily people can be duped into believing something simply because they already have preconceived notions and ideas. You see, if you didn't notice, pretty much every country that they've shown there is either a Muslim state-ran country or a predominantly Muslim country or a communist or former communist country. Whether we're talking about China or North Korea, whether we're talking about Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, Eritrea, I'm saying it wrong. Yeah, I think it's Eritrea, is way off base. They're like 49% Christian. Each one of those countries, the Bible is not illegal. In each one of those countries, there are churches. In each one of those countries, missionaries go there to a certain extent. The only difference is that in Saudi Arabia and most of the Arab countries that were shown there, which they have laws against proselytizing. You cannot be on the street trying to convert someone, and you cannot purposely try to convert someone. Those are illegal. To try to convert a Muslim into Christianity, that's illegal. Having a Bible is not illegal in Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, Iran. They have churches there. So this is bullshit. These are lies that they're telling in order to scare Christians, especially American and European Christians, into thinking that, yes, we must fight against the Islamic Communist Alliance. We got to fight against them. Yes, they are evil. So they make up these types of lies. And even though there is some truth in the idea that the Bible isn't banned, but preaching the Bible to convert people is banned in most of those countries, it's just a big lie mixed in with some truth. And it reminded me of how last night during our live on Facebook and YouTube, and we only go live on Facebook and YouTube, one person had asked me concerning the fact that we were talking about are black people Moors and should black people be Islamic. They mentioned how if telling lies bring about a good result or helps people out, should the lie then be tolerated?
Pause it.
Here we go. Let's talk
What's
about
the implication here? The implication here that he's leading up to is right, and I'm intuiting that it's also going to be multifaceted. But the thing I see coming is he's going to say, well, he's going to say that we are, or at least Prophet Drew Ali is presenting the idea that a false identity is better than no identity, especially if it benefits the people taking on the false identity.
But what I also noticed is immediately he's already implying that it's a lie.
Right.
There you go. Oh yeah, that's my point. he in his leading up to his initial premise is the presumption that the identity is false. So he's creating the premise of analyzing the idea that it's okay to make up an identity or to assume a false identity if it benefits the people who did so.
And that's basically saying, call yourself anything but a Negro.
Pretty much.
Call yourself something, anything if it benefits the people. It's okay. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, we already see where this is going.
Yep.
Okay, brother.
So let me tell you a story, just to give you context. So last night on the live,
wait, he done up and done it.
Let me tell you a story.
Up and done it. He put the picture up there.
Right.
Up and done it. So,
right. Let me tell you.
We already see right now.
Yeah.
He's on his soapbox. He's finna get on his soapbox. So hold, strap in. You know what I'm saying? Let's strap in.
Boy, we told the entire story about how Islam grew, how Islam conquered North Africa, how the Muslims then
Islam conquers North Africa.
I mean, yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, if he wants to use the word conquered, okay, fine.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, fine. Okay. So, okay, I already know where. Okay, but keep going.
Yeah.
Conquered the Berbers and the Mauritanians, and then invaded Spain.
Now, I know where else he's going. He said Berbers
and Mauritanians.
And Mauritanians. All right, hold on. I'm taking notes again. People, not only is this my very first reaction video, like this is my first time even seeing all of this. But here we go. I'm not psychic and I'm not a betting man, but I bet the house that what he's gonna say is that Berbers and Mauritanians are not quote unquote black. All right, let's go.
Let's see where he goes.
And conquer Spain.
Going to ChumbaCasino.com.
Let me knock the sound off of that. Oh no.
Oh man, I think it went to a whole nother video. Yeah, you done went to a whole nother video.
A whole nother video.
Canelo and the Crawford.
Pardon me. I'm new to this too. I'm new to now I gotta go. There we go. Let me go back to him. Let me go back to the guy. Gosh, forgive me, y'all. I'm new to this. Oh man. It's all right. Here we go. We back at him. We back at him.
After they conquered Spain and ruled them for 700 years, they were then exiled out of Spain, and then completely exiled. Were exiled in 1492, and then completely exiled in 1609. Now, according to this gentleman, Noble Drew Ali, birth name is Thomas Drew, in 1886. But in 1926, he set up the Moorish Temple number 9 in Chicago.
Stop.
And during that time frame.
Stop.
Okay. Yeah. Here we go. I told you.
Thomas Drew.
You know what? I'm gonna let that one go. So, but he says he set up Temple number 9 in 1926, right? And well, in 19, as if that was the beginning. That wasn't the beginning. Temple number 1 in Chicago was set up in 1925, in the month of October 1925, right? So, but anyway, all right, keep going. Go ahead.
So what we have here is I spoke with you earlier before when I told you about this. Here's a brother who's speaking as if he's an authority on something.
And that's the whole point of them trying to give dates and times and locations, is to try to establish himself as read in on the Moorish movement. Exactly. That's why I wanted to stop for, just to explain that to the audience, or just really preach to the choir. People start leading up to a point, and then they're giving you names, dates, times, is to establish to their audience, or in the minds of their audience, that they know what they're talking about. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Let's see what we get.
In Chicago, there was a huge migration of Black people leaving Mississippi and Alabama and relocating to Chicago. This is known as the Great Mississippi Migration.
Mm-hmm.
When those people got there, one of the things that they encountered was Noble Drew Ali teaching Moorish science. And in his teachings of Moorish science, he taught that Black people once ruled Europe, and that these Black people brought them education and brought them hygiene and all these other things. And he said that the monarchy was living in caves and hovels and thatch roof huts and sleeping with their animals.
Stop. When did the prophet teach that?
Yeah,
he add extra sauce to it.
Yeah,
propaganda.
Now the prophet did. He did say that yes, our forefathers ruled Spain, and they were the founders of old world Western civilization. That's a fact. Yep. Yes, he did teach that. Yes, he did. Okay, go ahead.
This guy's a piece of work already.
And then he said that when they were expelled out of Spain, that they were some sailed on ships and came to the Caribbean, while others went into West Africa. And then when the transatlantic slave trade happened, those Black slaves were brought to the Americas. And he encouraged people to become upstanding citizens, to practice Islam, to have decency about yourself, to treat one another. Some sailed on ships and came to the Caribbean, while others went into West Africa. And then when the transatlantic slave trade happened, those Black slaves were brought to the Americas. And he encouraged people.
Wait a minute. We got to run that back one more time.
In hovels and thatch roof huts and sleeping with their animals. And then he said that when they were expelled out of Spain, that they were some sailed on ships and came to the Caribbean, while others went into West Africa. And then when the transatlantic slave trade happened, those Black slaves were brought to the Americas. And he encouraged people to become upstanding citizens, to practice.
How backwards did he get that?
Well, see, first and foremost, he, as Brother McGriffith said, he's adding extra sauce. What he did is he read about, again, this is what he read about, certain historical events in a particular chronology, right? So, but follow me. So he says, when the Moors were expelled, right? Some sailed to the Caribbean. This is true. Some went back to West Africa. This is true. And he said, and then slavery, and then some quote unquote Black Africans who went. That's what he's saying. Again, the prophet didn't teach it that way.
No.
You see, the prophet didn't teach it that way. And his chronology of events misses some very, very, very key pieces of world history. And the reason he's missing these very, very key pieces of world history is because his narrative on history is colonized. Ours isn't.
Ours isn't.
His is. His narrative is colonized. See? And I just want to get through a little bit more, and then we'll go in, because I already got a number of points. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's get through some more. Yeah.
Islam, to have decency about yourself, to treat one another with kindness and treat all people with kindness and love, and that we should build communities and support each other. Noble things that any community leader should be teaching. But he added this racial and religious aspect to it in order to solidify the connection between the people, instead of just building great men and women.
What?
He added.
Well, here's the thing. Didn't you say that this guy does his overall view is anti-religious?
Yes.
There's his bias.
Right.
There's his bias. So while on one end he's admiring all the positive things that he just mentioned, he points out two things that he has issues with. He says racial narrative, which we know that's not true.
Right.
Of course.
And religion. He has issues with those two things. And he's saying that he's saying all those positive things, he's using race and religion as the glue to connect the people with those positive things. And that's what he's taking issue with.
Let's see.
Go ahead.
And support each other. Noble things that any community leader should be teaching. But he added this racial and religious aspect to it in order to solidify the connection between the people, instead of just building great men and women. So they asked the question, if it benefited so many people, because he grew up to over 35,000 people following him, if it benefited so many people and benefited the community, then what harm is a little lie? Because the lie is this, that the Muslim caliphates never considered themselves Moors. Moors was actually a term used by the European Christians as a slang, as a negative comment towards them, kind of like the N-word. This meant a person who practiced Islam. It had nothing to do with skin colors. And it actually derived.
Oh, no, keep on. I want to hear what he said it derived from.
Whoa.
From the Latin term Muru, which is what the Romans called the people of Mauritania. They called them Morus.
Okay, stop.
And it became Moors. Now,
stop. Now we get to go in.
Yeah.
He said that he said basically that the lie is that our people were ever called Moors or called themselves Moors. That's what he says. Now I need everybody in the chat to get their pens and pads out.
Let's get it.
I really need you. I really need you to get your pen and pad out on this, because he's spouting some things that have been said by many people, and up to this point, it goes largely unchallenged. This is less of a, you'll see. Okay, let's start with what he says about the lie. He says that's the lie that we're Moors, and he said that the Islamic caliphates, that's what he said, right? Basically, what makes up what's called in history the Islamic Empire or the Moorish Empire, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, basically he's saying that just meant anybody that was in that area that was practicing Islam and had nothing to do with skin color. Let's talk about his psychology right off top. First and foremost, like I said, his narrative and thinking is still colonized. See my shirt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my shirt's black.
Yeah.
Let's start right there.
Yeah.
My skin tone is not black. Remember, people, the color code system of race classification did not exist in medieval times. Though people were never identified that way. I don't care what anyone says. The terms black people and white people are bad sociology, and they were created by European colonizing social scientists. We've on your show numerous times. There's a paper you can Google right now. The paper is called, Google the paper right now and download it and read it. The paper is called The Iberian Roots of American Racist Thought. That paper alone kills this whole argument. Why? Just in the title, it kills it. The Iberian Roots of American Racist Thought. Well, what's Iberia, people? Spain and Portugal. What? Oh, so by the title alone, it's telling you that American racist thought had its roots where?
In the Iberia Peninsula.
So the title of the paper alone proves him wrong.
Yes, sir.
Because what he's saying is that, oh, our people were never more. So if that's a lie, then it wasn't us that civilized Spain, was it?
Facts.
Okay.
Or Europe at that time.
So how could American racist thought had its roots in Spain then? How, people? How, Sway? Now let's take it, now let's take it a step further. That whole thing of, oh, well, the term Moor is a slang word that was called that by the European Christians, and it come from Roman times, or really more properly, the Greeks from Strabo in the 1st century. And they say, oh, Moor comes from the Greek word moros, which means black. Pause. We're going to take that whole argument away from all of them right now. Let's go with it. Let's go with it just for a quick second, because this is more of a psychology thing, proper thinking versus improper thinking, than it is a scholarly thing. Let's go with it. Let's say black equals Moor. Let's just do that. First and foremost, if the argument against calling yourself a Moorish American is that Moor means black, you murdered your own argument.
Facts.
Because then you'd have no problem, because you got no problem calling yourself black, and you say Moor means black, then you should have no problem calling yourself a Moor. How about that? See, this is psychology, people. It's easy. Here's the second thing. Even if you say black and Moor are one and the same, here's a big difference. Let's say they're equal. Here's a big difference. Black has no old world connection, and it does not tie you to world history and connect you to your forefathers.
Boom.
Boom. But Moor does. So which is preferable? Now let's take it a step further. Oh, they didn't call themselves Moors. Listen. Follow me, people. This is so easy to deal with. They didn't call themselves Moors. That came from the Europeans and da-da-da. Okay. What do Japanese call themselves today? Oh, nobody knows. Ask them. What do they call the company, the country? Do they call it Japan? Do they call themselves Jap? They say Nippon.
Mm-hmm. That's an old world name.
They say Nippon.
Mm-hmm.
What do the Chinese call themselves? They call themselves Chinese? Today. Do they call their country China?
Do they?
Or do they? Absolutely not. They call the country Chongguo. But when they come to the West and they're speaking English, do they say Chongguo?
They say China.
Say China.
Do the Japanese say Nippon?
No, they say Japan.
So why are we playing these games when it comes to us? See how easy that was?
You make a very, very strong point.
Why do we play these games when it comes to us? No, they weren't called Moors. They were called Berbers and Amazigh, and they were called Tamazight, and they were...
It's too much.
See how that works? See how that works?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're not going to play those games. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, if I could get you to
think,
you can save yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, one more thing about the whole moral thing, or more. They'll say, well, that came from the Greek historian Strabo, 1st century, when he did what? Visited the people of Mauritania. Whoa. Where did he say? He said that those people called themselves Maori. Follow me. He said they call themselves Maori. And of course, people like Strabo associated the name with the appearance of the people. How can you prove that? Well, Maori is a Greek word that means black. No, it's a word that became known to associate with that definition. There's a big difference. How can I prove that? The Greek word for black is melanos, not Maori.
Yes. Actual fact. It's a fact.
See how easy that was? Easy.
That's a fact.
Easy.
That's a fact.
Easy. See that?
Yes, sir.
And so, according to Strabo, those people said Maori, and he adopted that. So who? See, in other words, anybody that says, "Oh, the word Moor is a European invention," what are they telling you? That their narrative on history is what? Colonized. There you go. See, that was easy. All right, next thing, let him go. I want to hear more.
Sure. Hey, listen.
And there is a word in Greek as Moro, which does mean black, but Muru just meant people from Mauritania. Yes, they were brown-skinned people, but they were not black, sub-Saharan African.
Oh,
Stop it!
Oh,
Stop it!
What?
Yo, dear brother, I'm gonna do a show. Well, the upcoming show that we're gonna do on Let's Think podcast on why is proclaiming nationality important and what is it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna deal with something that is known in sociology and anthropology and ethnology as the Negro trick. It is connected to the Hamitic hypothesis. Here we go. What was and I'm oversimplifying the Hamitic hypothesis and the Negro trick. Here it is. When you had European colonizing powers in Africa, the premise is what? Negroes are incapable of civilization of any kind. That's the premise. That was there. So they walked in with a premise. What we call that? Confirmation bias. So what do you think happened when they saw the Great Wall of Zimbabwe? What do you think they thought when they saw the pyramids and they saw all this other stuff? What were they thinking?
Aliens.
How we explain this?
Aliens.
Right, there you go. Agreement for
Area
right?
51 did it. Yeah.
So what did they come up with? Anything above the Sahara was not the true Negro.
Facts. It was a European.
It was dark-skinned Caucasians, Eurasians, pastoral Europeans, Eurafricans, anything but the true Negro. And they said the true Negro was the sub-Saharan African. So when you hear this guy say that, what did he just say? Real black people.
It wasn't sub-Saharan Africa.
He is infected
with colonization.
He's a white supremacist.
Straight like that.
Straight like that.
His history,
he's a white supremacist.
His narrative on history is severely colonized.
Yes, sir.
Severely. And to the point of this, people, you could pull up a picture of any Sudanese. Matter of fact, I want everybody right now to Google. Look, let's make it even better. Let's make it better. I want you all to Google the royal executioner of Saudi Arabia and look at images so you see what he looks like.
Let me see. I'm going to do it for us.
Do it now. I want you
What
to
is it? What is it again?
The royal executioner of Saudi Arabia. I'm going to do it too.
Oh man, I see him. Oh man. Yeah, I'm finna show you a good picture of him. That man look like his name Leonard. That man look like his name. That man look like his name is Leonard, sir.
Man, like one of my uncles.
That's a pure Arab.
Yeah.
Now, here's my point. Here's my point. There you go, brother. That's him. Here's my point. He comes from Saudi Arabia. He's a pure Arab. Now, you know and I know and everybody knows, and this gentleman here knows too, if you saw him walking down the street, what would he be called in America today?
A Negro. Black.
Let's not play games.
Colored man.
The whole color code system of race classification is bad sociology, people. I don't care what you say.
Period.
Yep.
That man is an Arab.
Period.
But who do you look like? He looks like my old uncle from down south.
You feel me?
See?
Yeah.
Coming out the juke joint with that
Right.
a lot of change in his pocket.
Right. See that? Yeah, that's a pure Arab.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Mm-hmm.
But I just dealt with one of the other issues that he's going to bring up. He's going to say that the Berbers and the Mauritanians are not quote unquote black people.
Mm-hmm.
Because in his mind, black is a real race.
And
Yeah, they
it's
come from black land.
really not.
Thank you, brother.
They come from black land.
See that? Right. See? Again, severely colonized. He speaks. He throws the word black out as if it is he presumes it to be a solid, incontestable or uncontestable reality. See? That picture we just showed of the royal execution of Saudi Arabia killed that, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
The paper that I mentioned, The Iberian Roots of American Racist Thought, kills that, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
All right, so here's another point. When he talked earlier about his little chronology of, okay, more, Berbers and Mauritanians are expelled from Spain after ruling for 700 plus years. Some go to the Caribbean, some go to North or West Africa, and then end up on slave ships. Well, what was the date? 1492, and then he went further into the 1600s, right?
Yeah.
For the full expulsions, right? Okay, well, you know and I know, and the audience should know, but now they're going to know, that the literal and true origin of the African transatlantic slave trade was the year 1442. Started by the Catholic Church, Pope Eugene IV in particular, with a papal bull called Ilias Cue. That's real world history, people. It ain't a secret. And guess what Pope Eugene IV called it?
A crusade against the new crusade against
you got
the
it.
Moors.
He authorized the Portuguese military order of Mary and Christ to begin raids on the west coast of Africa, and he called it a new crusade against the Moors.
Mm-hmm.
This is world history. This ain't no secret, and it's definitely not some old wives' tale made up by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. It's real world history.
Which he's adamantly trying to propagate.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
See that? Again, like I said, earlier, he was trying to establish himself as an authority on certain aspects of world history, but his narrative is colonized. And because it's colonized, it's limited to looking only certain places and only putting certain pieces together, and therefore painting a totally different picture of history. So, if the expulsion took place from 1492 to the 1600s, but the African slave trade began in 1442 when we were still ruling Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Then that chronology fits Dr. Ben, Iva Van Sertima, Dana Marnici, and other real scholars that the earliest quote-unquote African slaves in the Americas came from Spain and not continental Africa.
That's what I was waiting on right there. Yep.
This is too easy.
Yep. That's what I was waiting on right there.
This is too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. And again, it's not just easy in the sense that it's easy because our perspective of history and our narrative of history, thanks to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, is not or it's decolonized.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's decolonized. Why do we say decolonized? Because we know the real one and we know the fake one. That's why. We were once under the fake one. So we know both.
Yes, sir.
Well,
see, yeah, we know both.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear what else he's got to say.
This guy.
Oh, wait.
Were there black sub-Saharan Africans that were part of?
Wait. He mentions Berbers and Mauritanians. I don't have to go. Listen, any of you, I'm talking to the audience. If you doubt it, just follow our good sister Dana Marnici on Facebook. Dana Marnici is a world-renowned scholar and ethnologist.
Mm-hmm.
World-renowned. Her literature is sought, like greedily sought by higher academia all over the world. And she has, I think it's, I'll say 20, but I think it's 30. 20 years plus of on the ground, of field research, ethnological field research in Southern Arabia and West and Africa.
Mm.
You listen,
yes,
everybody's familiar with Ivan Van Sertima, right?
Yeah.
Well, you got to be somebody when Ivan Van Sertima devotes a whole chapter of one of his monumental books to you. So when Ivan Van Sertima,
actually in this book,
that's the book, Golden Age of the Moors.
Oh, right. I'm fine.
And there's a whole chapter in that book dedicated to Dana Marnici's research.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, it's in here.
This is easy. It's too easy.
It definitely is. Where is it at? It's right here. Dana Marnici. Yep, here you go. It's actually It's actually right here on page 93. Let me pull it up so you can see it big. 93. Here we go. Yep, that's her chapter. Right?
Yo, shout out to my sister in Texas, Sister Shaniqua Stevenson. Shout out to The More You Know. Yo, they put one crate, bro. See, that's what's beautiful. There you go, brother. Thank you for that. 2020, This is 2025, people. We could do it like the Matrix. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The more you know. I'm quoting. I'm sorry. I just got to do it. Here dwell. He quoted what I referenced from Strabo. Here dwell a people called by the Greeks Maurici and by the Romans and the natives Mauri, a populous and flourishing African nation.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
It's too easy. It's too easy.
This guy.
Hey, and you know what I want to do? Hey, brother, I think they call him Coach RENZ33, right? You need to come to the show. You need to come on.
Oh yeah, yeah. You definitely. We should have a conversation. Okay, I want to hear some more. I want to let this guy run. I want to hear some more.
Of this Arab empire, yes, because they were brought over through the Trans-Saharan slave trade, forced sub-Saharan Africans. Now, were there black sub-Saharan Africans that were part of this Arab empire? Yes, because they were brought over through the Trans-Saharan slave trade, forced to be slaves. Those and others gained their freedom and would rise and become military leaders, but most of them just remained as military soldiers. Were they present in Spain? Yes. Were they the rulers of Spain? No.
Stop. Stop. Stop.
You said what?
Yo, somebody reach out to this guy and tell him we should really have a conversation and tell him to bring his references.
Did he say they did not rule Spain?
His references. Do you know how many? Listen, first let's just start with it. He said, "Were they the rulers?" No, right? Okay, let's start with this. When Tariq ibn Ziyad in 711 AD crossed over with his army into Spain, right? When he crossed over into Spain, that was the beginning of what we could call the Spanish Umayyad period. The Umayyads, according to my brother and others, who is a scholar, a religious scholar and theological scholar, and also a scholar on this portion of history, Dr. Wesley Muhammad, the Umayyads were notoriously what he called a black power Islamic dynasty.
It was the Abbasids that he used from
later, right? The Abbasids came later, but the Umayyads, okay, it was the late Umayyad period, or the Moors going into Spain in 711 AD began what we would call the late Umayyad period. And like we just showed you about the royal execution of Saudi Arabia today, right? There's too many references. It's too easy. But I'll just say this. Up until about 400 years ago, 300 years ago, the overwhelming phenotype of Arabs is Africoid.
Yes.
Overwhelming. Get a book called The Unknown Arabs by Dr. Tariq Berry. That's just one. That's just one.
And also in what I would say old Arab history,
yes,
you can find that the Arabs once were very they wore blacks, they wore, excuse my expression, they wore dark skin as a badge of honor.
You hit it right on the nose. No, brother. That I was gonna say the same thing. Right? Dark, we say dark olive. Dark brown skin was considered not just a badge of honor to the Arab, but it was a distinguishing factor of what they called true Arabs.
Exactly.
As opposed to Arabicized Arabs. You see? Yeah, so you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
The present day Arab phenotype came as a result of our forefathers taking pale Persian slaves.
Yep. And into their harems. Yes, sir.
There you go. Listen, there's still woodcut images, and this comes at a much later period. We're talking hundreds of years later, of the Moroccan king Moulay Ismail. He looks like Brother McGriff-Hill. These guys got to stop. They got to stop. Because here again, see, and this part this is where it starts to really, it starts to grate on my patience, because his perspective is so colonized. It's so colonized that he inadvertently is denying vehemently your humanity. You can't have an old world connection. It's impossible for you to be connected to your forefathers.
To a nation of people.
Right. To a nation. There you go, bro.
Right.
There you go.
And every human being is connected to a nation of people. So that means if you're not, we don't even have to consider you human.
And one other point that he made earlier, or me counting a point that he made earlier, right? Like we said, in those days, we're talking now in the medieval era, right? People were not identified. When I say people, I'm talking about nations of people. And I'm using the word identified, not described. Yeah, you can describe people as black skin. That's a description, not an identification. Please know that, people. Keep that in mind. I'm not mad at somebody saying, oh, he was black skin. I'm not mad at that. But there ain't no nation ever in the history of the world that identified themselves this way. They might describe a few of them as being real dark. But that's a description, people. It's not identification.
There you go.
See that? Know the difference. So when people start trying to identify you with an adjective, just know what they're doing. They're othering you from the human family. That's what's happening.
Basically lowering you below the beast of the field.
I just need to say this too. And this goes to my brothers, especially my Afrocentric brothers. We're all family, first and foremost. We're not other, as Moorish Americans, we are not othering ourselves from our family.
No.
That said, understand that when you hold on to the European social caste system label, this is how, follow me, this is how European and others that hold on to and support the Eurocentric narrative of history can deny you yours. This is how the head of Egyptian antiquities, Zahi Hawass, can openly say with a straight face on TV, yes, the ancient Egyptians had dark brown skin, but they were not N-words.
Facts.
And that's what he said.
Say it again.
Oh, yeah. He says, oh, yeah, he had admitted when it was right in his face. Yeah, the ancient Egyptians were dark skinned, but they were not N-words. That's what he said. He said black people. And then he said N-words. That's the truth. Because you see, they know what they know what European psychology is. They use it to their advantage. They know. We don't. That's the problem. We don't realize that the color code system of race classification is a caste system operating in the open. And it ain't like we can't listen.
Because in the caste system, you have to have someone who is perpetually at the bottom of the caste system.
You can't have superiority without inferiority.
Facts.
Exactly. That's true.
Now, here's one other thing I wanted to say, because he has this issue with religion. And I got to give credit to my brother, Dr. Wesley Muhammad, for this one. But it's true. It's just true, period. It's just historically true. White supremacy, right? In its origins, we know where its origins started. Spain.
Exactly.
Hold on. But here's the thing. And even afterwards, from then on, white supremacy's greatest enemy, listen close, people, and you ain't got to like it. It's just the truth. You ain't got to like it. But white supremacy's enemy wasn't just Africans, and it wasn't just Islam. It was the two together. I don't care how you say Islam spread through Africa. We know the truth. It wasn't by the sword no, it's not what happened. Was there wars, especially in the north? Yes. But that's not how Islam.
But it became a unifying factor.
That's my point, brother. Even if it was spread by the sword, guess what? Especially to my Pan-Africanist brothers and sisters. Under Islam, that was the first time Africa was largely united.
Facts.
That's just history. Sorry.
That's
just history. Fact. And that is what white supremacy fears most.
A unified Asiatic people.
Under what?
Islam.
Yes, sir. And I wanted to say this, right?
Yes.
Because that's something very common amongst our people is to denounce religion.
Yes.
However, the word religion comes from two Latin words.
Yes, sir.
One is religare.
Yep.
And the other one is religio.
Ray meaning to do again, and legere meaning to tie or bind or unite.
Yes.
Ain't nothing wrong.
So this is the purpose of religion. This is how we do religion.
So hold on, brother. Remember what he said? He said all these good, positive, noble things that Noble Drew Ali was doing, but he had to couch it with a lie, couched with religion and race. What better glue to unite people? Even by definition of the word.
Even by definition and the etymon of the word.
There you go. Sounds like intelligence to me.
And then our holy prophet, we also instructed as Moorish Americans to bind our hearts and minds back
to our ancient forefathers,
divine creed and principles.
Sounds like religion to me, doesn't it?
Sounds like religion to me.
But here's the other part too. You might hate religion, right? But then you do a little history and you're like, what did your adversary fear the most?
Religion. Your religion.
A particular religion amongst a particular group of people.
Mm-hmm. Islam amongst Asiatic people.
Yeah. So you can hate it all you want, but we have history to show what was effective.
Very effective.
All right.
It's still effective to this day.
Yeah.
That they don't want to talk about. It's still effective to this day.
Brother, why do you think? There you go. What? Okay. I just look around. And, you know what I'm saying? What are we being told to stay away from?
Islam.
All
right.
I mean, anything your enemy tell you to stay away from, I tell you to go run and embrace it.
Man, listen. See? Mm-hmm. Or at the very least, start asking the right questions. Mm-hmm. Why do they not want us next to Islam?
But the history tells you.
But again, now watch this. And this is why we're so blessed to listen to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Because if we didn't, our narrative on history would be decolonized still. Mm-hmm. I don't care how many books you read on Afrocentrism. It's not what you know, it's how you think about what you know.
And that's called disorientation.
You got it. If you still think with colonized narrative, it doesn't matter how many books you read. That's why our literature is a pamphlet. It ain't even a book.
66 pages.
There you go. That's it.
And by the way, I've said this on the show first too. 66 pages. Right. You know what the ejab for Allah is, right?
Oh, come on, of course, bro.
Yeah, 66.
66.
So hey, yo, you know what I'm saying? Even Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam. It can be shown and proven in no limited time.
No limited time, right?
Yeah.
No limited time.
Fact.
See
what this guy.
Yeah, let's go. Go ahead.
Let's see what he's talking about. Here we go. Man, he gonna get.
Go to Spain and you see and I want you guys to look it up. I'm not even going to show you. You have to be on the live for me to show it to you. I want you to look up for yourself. Look at the halls of kings in Spain, Moorish halls of kings, or Muslim halls of kings in Spain, and you will see that the mosaics there, they're all Arab. They're not this guy right here. This is a creation of the Moorish science in order to convince people that they were the kings and rulers of Spain. And were they living in hovels?
On the picture that he just put up,
that brother looked like me.
Let me see. yo, wait a minute.
Bro. I know he didn't try what I think he tried.
He said those.
Back up. Yeah, okay, so show the picture. Yeah, I need to see.
He done up and done it.
Back it up and show that picture, bro. That he said this is a product of Moorish science.
Oh man, I'm finna, hold on. Let me. All right. Do this. Let me do this. Yeah, I zoomed in too far. Okay. I think we right here.
Yeah, back him up. Right. Yeah, that was the picture
Yeah.
of the guy on the horse.
Can you
Back him up.
Can you see it?
I can see it, but can you zoom it in?
Yes, sir. Can you see it?
Okay, so I need everybody in the chat to look up the word Orientalism. Yo, this guy makes this way too easy.
Orientalism.
Orientalism.
Okay, let's get it. Orientalism. Orientalism. There we go. Orientalism, popularized by Edward Said in his book of the same name, refers to a Western way of thinking and representing the Orient, primarily the Middle East and East Asia. That
Now,
often involves
stop. Click on images right now.
Images. Okay, I have it.
Pick one.
Yes. Just click one.
Pick any of them.
Okay. Here's a good one. Now let me go back to my screen. Here we go.
Matter of fact, since he brings up Edward Said, here we go. Look, yeah, that's the one you picked.
Hey, that's the same. That's crazy. That's the same one I was looking at.
Look. In other words, it was Europeans in the late 18th and early 19th century painting what they saw in the Middle East. You hear me?
Yes. What is this guy talking about, man?
That's an Orientalist picture. That don't come from the Moorish movement. Those pale European artists were in the quote-unquote Middle East at that time period painting what they saw. And what did they see? He's showing you.
People that look like us on a nag.
And bro,
on a nag.
Yeah. Who that on that nag?
You see what I'm saying? Like this guy, man.
Who that boy there on that nag?
Hear me? Okay.
See, and on a serious note, I'm saying this to the audience. We deserve responsible information.
Yes, sir. That's
not the stuff that just agrees with our preconceived notions. That's called confirmation bias.
Exactly.
So I could tell you, I could say anything, but what did I do? I just directed you to a whole field of study. Orientalism. Now you see for yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See how easy that was?
Yes,
real
sir.
Easy, people. Real easy.
This guy right here, man.
Yeah. Ain't that something? Now, he mentions, what did he say? The leaders. Oh man, we've already killed a lot of this stuff already. You know? Yeah. All right, let him talk. Let him talk. What else is he saying?
Yeah, go back a little bit.
Yeah, go back a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm running back.
Hall of the King in Spain, and you will see that the mosaics there, they're all Arab. They're not this guy right here. This is a creation of the Moorish science in order to convince people that they were the kings and rulers of Spain. And were they living in hovels? No. Now, yes, the poor people were living in the type of situation.
Okay, stop by pausing for a second. He said they weren't Arabs. He's making a distinction in that time period between Arabs and blacks. Pause.
Right.
Pause. Based on, first of all, okay, follow me, audience. Follow me. Let me make this first statement, then I'm going to give an example. You cannot research ancient times with modern eyes. Your research and your understanding and your mindset must be properly contextualized. Here's a great example. How many of you guys hear or have heard real Italians speaking? Their tone, even when they're speaking English, their tone inflection, their mannerisms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they look like Russell Crowe or sound like Russell Crowe in Gladiator? Russell Crowe and everybody in Gladiator is speaking with Shakespearean accents.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Not Italian. Shakespearean. That's England. See? They don't sound no parts Italian. At all. Get my point?
Yes, sir.
All right. So when you say blacks and Arabs, if we're talking 2025, you may have a point. Because we are socialized today to believe that both are two distinct races, when Arab is a language group, not a race. And black, as we know, is a fiction. And I prove it all the time with show of hands with people. I say, show of hands. Show of hands. How many of you guys seen somebody mix Puerto Rican and black? People's hands go up. I say, okay, show of hands. How many of you guys seen pure-blooded Puerto Ricans darker than you? Hands go up. I say, well,
Excuse me, man. I was looking at the chat, man. I had to get delete some weird comments.
But you hear my point? You catch it?
Yes, sir.
Supreme Angel, Arab, Black, Moor, Muslim, and Saracen used interchangeably at that time. Agreed. See that you have to contextualize your research.
Yes, sir.
It has to fit the period you're researching. You see what I'm saying? It has to fit. So for him to say blacks and Arabs, but you're talking 8th century, especially when in the 8th century, the people that you would call black looked exactly like the people you would call Arab. You see?
Yes, sir.
It's too easy, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's too easy. See? All right, let him go.
Let's see what
situation that was described by Noble Drew Ali. But the elites, the middle class, the monarchy, if they built these types of churches, and this was built in the 1600s, and the Moors never came into, the Muslims never came into Spain until 711 by Tariq, then, and look up Tariq, and you'll see that Tariq, the original name of Rock of Gibraltar was Jabal Tariq, and he was very much a Arab who also had a black slave. But if they were building these because they once were conquered by the Romans, all of Spain was once ruled by Rome, and we know Roman concrete built palaces, built roads, built cathedrals. These are still buildings that you can see in Spain to this day. You can see these. And
one of the key signature pieces of Moorish architecture in Spain
is
to this day is Alhambra. That was not built by Romans.
Nope.
And hold on, it's in its architecture, the mathematical redundancies embedded in the architecture of the Alhambra are actual mathematic duplications from another culture. You know what culture it is? Ancient Egypt. And you know why it was done that way? To demonstrate the connection of the people and the culture. You know who made that knowledge known to the Western public? Our brother, the late George G.M. James, in his book Stolen Legacy, which is why he lost his life.
And I have it.
Like I said, this is way too easy.
Moors are the custodians of the ancient Egyptian mystery system.
There you go. See? This is too easy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's too easy. Yeah, we need to have him as on as a guest, man, live. We can have a conversation.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, sir. That would be dope. That would be dope. Let's let him go.
Yes, let him go.
And they were built during the time frame of Rome. They're like over 1,500 years old. And he suggested that they were living in caves. No.
Prophet
The
Drama
lies that you
Can you
tell
stop him for a second?
are not beneficial.
Prophet Noble never. This guy, see, at this point, especially when he brings up the whole Roman architecture piece and how Rome, southern Spain was a part of the ancient Roman Empire, the old Roman Empire. That's all true history. But it ain't got nothing to do with the price of tea in China, my guy. Nothing. He's freestyling right now. He's just straight freestyling.
Adding to the sauce.
Exactly. Yeah, he's freestyling.
Yeah. He put a little garlic and oregano with it.
Yo, give me a quick second, brothers. I gotta take a quick bathroom break.
All right. Yeah.
Boy.
For sure.
He's freestyling. He's freestyling so hard right now.
Yeah.
And he said something about them being like. He said something about 1,500 years later or something, but he talking about they was there in the 6th and 7th century. I'm like, well, which one is it?
Well, he was talking about if I'm mistaken, if my memory serves me correct, he was speaking about the edifices that these Europeans were building, and he attributed the history of saying that the Europeans stayed in huts and caves. He attributed that to that Prophet Noble Drew Ali. However, when we look at the elaborate structures and the scientific method of how this architecture was, demonstrated and manifested in Spain, and even amongst our people, with this particular science and high science, that building that he showed is a hut.
That's the truth. Oh, and another point too. To this day. To this dirt.
Salute the bronze bomber.
Listen, if you go to Spain to this day, no lie, this is the truth. Because I have a student of mine who spent 5+ years in Spain teaching English, and he plans to return. Right? When he heard me speak about my nationality, you know what he said? When he was talking about this, listen, I want you to all to hear this very close. This guy is saying that Moors can't be black people and black people are not identified as Moors, right? That's what he said. To this day, in the south of Spain, Europeans are called white and Africans are called Moors. To this day. Okay.
To this day.
Today.
Right.
That's wild.
Yeah, don't argue with me. Argue with Spain.
Facts.
Hey, yo, Salam Allah, Khalil Allah.
Yeah, you see him in the chat. You see him in the chat.
Yeah,
that's the brother.
Salam Allah.
Yeah. All right, let's hear this guy finish out. Let's see.
This is
really easy.
I told you.
helping of people should not be satiated, should not be accepted just because people benefit from your entirety of your organization. Tell me the ugly truth before you tell me your pretty little lie, because I rather deal with truth than to deal with a lie. Noble Drew Ali inspired and helped a lot of Black people. He also inspired David Farrar, who would become Wallace Farrar, who becomes the guy who started the Nation of Islam. And
well,
you hear this foolery? You hear this foolery?
I gotta say. Number one, and I'm gonna say this because before I came into the Moorish Science Temple of America, I was an avid student of the Messenger's teachings, and I'm still a student of the Messenger's teachings. Just to let you know, just out there.
Yes, sir.
It's becoming, somewhat shameful that ones continue to make statements like this.
Exactly. That's right.
Because my question is, because I went through my phase of it too. Allow me to say that.
Yes.
However, but what you're truly saying when you make a statement like that,
right,
is that what the prophet gave us, or what the prophet brought, that someone else was able to do better with it than you were. And I mean,
no, you're right. Yeah, keep going.
And neither here nor there, whether it be the truth or not. What you should do is respect the connections and stop it with the fabrication of things that you have no proof of.
There you go.
I mean, I know that there are Moors who have brought, certain data
right
for.
Right.
It's very circumstantial.
Okay, can I jump in here? One of the things you said, respect the connections, the true connections, the true ones.
Mm-hmm.
Also respect the differences.
Exactly.
And give them honor.
Exactly.
But most importantly, honor the accomplishments of people that are your brothers and your sisters, regardless of organization. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Honor that. For members of the Moorish American movement, for members of the Moorish Science Symbol of America, to stay on this swagger jack mission, it's an indictment on yourself. As per what you just said, brother. It's an indictment on you. If you're saying, oh, well, the nation came from, wow. What you're really admitting to is they did with what your prophet gave that you didn't do?
Right.
That makes you look crazy.
And if that's the case, I'll say here, praise be to Allah, because we got an example.
Come on now.
It works.
Then you should follow that example. How about
it works.
It works.
Yes,
that's proof that it's there you go. You see what I'm saying? Now remember, watch this. And I'll put it this way when we look at it from this perspective. Prophet Noble Drew Ali says that man is a what of Allah?
Thought.
Woo! He said, if I can get you to what?
Think.
You can save yourself. So if man's a thought of Allah, the Moorish Science Symbol of America is too. And guess what else is? The Nation of Islam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See that? It's a thought.
I mean, what could happen without? Tell me what could exist without the decree of Allah anyway?
Come on. See, once again, our narrative, the point of origin of our thinking, the point of origin of our perception is wrong.
And I would say also this: when we learn the science of cycles and the science of the circle, and then look at these things with that eye instead of the eye of contention and division and sectarianism. You might be able to see a very interesting, development here.
Come on, brother. Now, one last thing, because this guy's about over. Which, and again, this is something that I'm going to definitely cover in the one show that we do, the presentation on nationality. Is this?
Yes, sir.
He's demonized. He gives accolades to, follow me. He's giving accolades to things that are byproducts of something.
Mm-hmm.
And then demonizing the very thing those things are byproducts of. You catch that? Let me say it again. He's demonizing the tree while eating the fruit that the tree bore. That's what he's doing. So when we talk about community economics, Prophet Noble Drew Ali's economic economic plan, right? Which is akin to the Nation of Islam's what? Do for self program.
Absolutely.
See that?
Absolutely.
When he talks about communal living, community economics, right? Loyalty to government, tolerance, and unity. You know, and I know all of these are what? Foregone conclusions and natural outgrowths of what? Nationality and divine creed. So he wants to throw out nationality and divine creed and he wants you to eat seedless watermelons.
And cuties.
You see how crazy that is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy.
Absolutely. And this is why I was glad that the brother gave me, because actually he gave me the brother, had another video, and he was like, yo, man, you got to get this brother on your demonstration. And the video that he gave me, I looked at some of it. I never got an opportunity to finish it, honestly. And then here comes this one. And I was like, oh, he's going to be on the show regardless. Because, we're going to, if necessary, we're going to make you famous. But that's right. I would like for this brother to come on Let's Think podcast and have a dialogue.
Absolutely.
Have a sit down. Let's have a dialogue, because the brother has made some very erroneous statements here.
But well, here's the thing, too, and again, we're not bullies. You know what I mean?
No.
We recognize, Prophet Drew Ali taught us this: the wise man feeleth his own imperfections and is humbled by them. Once upon a time, our narrative was colonized too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? And the Prophet Drew Ali said that the world may hear and know the truth, that amongst the descendants of the inhabitants of Africa, he's one of them, just like we are. There's still much wisdom to be learned.
Absolutely. However,
yes,
as individuals who have a voice and a platform,
yes,
and him being an individual that evidently is trusted because he has thousands of subscribers on YouTube.
Yes.
You have to be responsible, bro.
We gotta be. There you go, brother. Gotta be responsible.
You gotta be responsible with your scholarship and your information.
That's fact.
And unfortunately, in this video, he wasn't so responsible.
No.
He wasn't so responsible.
Diligence.
Because I can hear from his demonstration that a lot of the things that he's saying, he's heard.
You got it, brother.
He hasn't done the due diligence.
No.
He's just heard it. And what I'm saying is these things that he's, more preferably, I'm talking about the things that he attributed to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because
actual fact.
It had you. Come on.
Well, here we go. I want to add this to what you're saying. I agree wholeheartedly. But chapter 17 of the Holy Quran of Moorish Science of America teaches us a valuable lesson. It's the alchemical lesson.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Before the actions of the holy breath, in other words, before illumination can take place,
mm-hmm.
your previous conceptions and ideas have to be broken down. It said the body must what? Disintegrate, and this is death. Few people have the guts, even on a small level, to challenge their preconceived ideas. The mere fact that we are in the Moorish American movement this long means that we have passed that test, at least on a small level.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Most people run from the idea.
Yes.
See? He is banking on the current narrative that's held by the masses. But that's why he could just say black, like it's just, black people, See?
And the generality of men.
Right. And not even question that. See? What our prophet say about that, though? He said, general opinion is no proof of truth, for the generality of men are ignorant. He's leaning on the generalities. He's leaning on general opinion. Dangerous.
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 Dangerous. Dangerous. Very dangerous.
Dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Yeah.
Let's see what he got here. We're going to see what he in with, man.
Yes.
This was indicated by Louis Farrakhan in 2018 that the Moorish temples did inspire the Nation of Islam. And they've done a lot of great things, but the lies never help. So always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. The journey, good vibrations.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go back. Yeah. And our brother Khalil Allah is right, man. That's very, very, David Ford. Very, very shoddy work. Very shoddy work. Yeah.
Yeah. Look. Okay. Yeah. We had to stop that. Okay. Allegedly, Raphael the War, breaking news: Israel strikes Iran nuclear sites and military.
No, they did.
We were just talking about that.
We were just talking about before we got on the air. Y'all know what that means, among other things.
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, let's talk about that real quick. Back in 1968, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had back in 1968, Honorable Elijah Muhammad used to hold what's called table talks.
Table talks, yeah.
And the ministers would be there over dinner or food or meal, and he would teach. Well, in a series of those table talks in the year 1968, he told them some things, and he warned them. He said, "Do not teach this from your rostrums. They will kill you outright if you do." And he said that this was in 68, people. He said that the final conflict that the United States would get into, listen close. This is what he said in 68. The final conflict that the United States will get into will take place in the Middle East, and it will involve a European nation, and it will involve an Asian nation. And then he later named the Asian nation. He said China. He said the United States will send troops in the thousands. He said the United States will be tricked into involvement. He said the United States will send troops in the thousands and they will come back in the tens. And they will come back to a nation that is no longer the United States that it was when it left. Here's the craziest part about that, right? Now, Prophet Drew Ali, the members of the nation had Elijah for 44 years. We had the prophet, if we count from Chicago time, 4 years. So a lot of what we have regarding the prophet's prophecies are a little more general. Some are not that general. Some are quite specific, like this one. One day the United States is not going to be able to do any business unless it's through the Asiatics.
That time.
He said one day the European is going to let you down. You're going to have to store 90 days supply of food until your brothers from the East come to rescue you. Hold on. Now we see how things are shaping up now. See, those were considered prophecies back then. You see how things are shaping up now? Know what it's called now? Contemporary news. Because it's that clear. It's that clear. Here, let's just talk about the first prophecy. And we did this on your show, bro, last show. After World War II, the United States emerges out of World War II, the number one economy on the planet, the most stable economy on the planet, controlling most of the trade routes, and possessing over 75% of the world's gold. Everybody else was bombed to smithereens. Their economies shot to hell. So the United States gangstered all the other nations into accepting the US dollar as the world currency standard. It's called the Bretton Woods Agreement. People go look it up. That's what happened. We didn't earn our way into being a unipolar world power. We took advantage of a condition. And it was based on, we said, hey, our dollar's backed by gold. Until Nixon took us totally off the gold and silver standard in 1970.
Yep.
That should have killed the economy then, but then the petrodollar kicked in.
The oil.
And everybody had to buy oil. And so we gangstered, listen close, we gangstered Saudi Arabia into accepting the deal for the US dollar being the petrodollar, meaning every nation, if they were going to buy oil, had to use US dollars to do it. So we got all, let me tell you how gangster a move that was. We got the rest of the world's nations to subsidize our debt.
You take a piece. You take a piece. You get a car. You get a car.
That's what happened. But now hold on. Our greed, I say our because we're American citizens, but our greed, and it's not capitalism per se, it's Euro-colonial and imperialist capitalism. It's the Euro-imperialist take on capitalism that created a-national, multinational corporations. A-national meaning they're not beholden to no nation. And therefore they don't care about the rise or fall of any particular nation. And they've risen above nations. They finance nations and wars between nations. So you hear people, a big myth about the United States that in the Moorish movement, well, the United States is a corporation. It is not. And I'm going to issue this polite challenge to anybody to do a live discussion on the matter. But I will say this. The United States isn't a corporation, but it is owned and controlled by corporations. See, here's the big difference, people, between the United States and the economy and our government and, let's say, China. Here's the difference. We say in America, we're free because the government can't control how much money we make. Over here, We make as much as we want, and government can't say anything about it. China goes, well, you guys are communists. You're not free. You're slaves because the government, right? Yep. This is what the Chinese say. They say here. Let me modify your statement. And in China, we can make as much money as we want on the capitalist side. The difference between us and you is this. Over here, no matter how much money you make on the capitalist side, you can't influence government. Your money can. With you, it's just the opposite. Capitalism now owns and controls and runs yours. That's Geopolitics 101, people. United States is not, it's a democratic republic, but now because of Euro imperialist greed, it's owned and controlled by the OCGFC. Owners and controllers of global financialized capital. And there you have it. They choose who's going to sit in the seat. That's what they do. And that's what we're looking at right now. Now it's in the open, though, right? Who is tricking the United States into a conflict in the Middle East with Iran? We know. We saw him speak to Congress about it. Like I said, this ain't no longer prophecy. This is now contemporary news. This ain't prophecy anymore.
Right.
Prophet Drew Ali might as well be. Welcome to the 6 o'clock news. I'm your prophet, Noble Drew Ali. In the news today, it might as well be that.
Might as well.
See?
Might as well.
It might as well be that. We can see it now. It's crazy.
It's out the huddle now.
It's out. The play is out the huddle. What Elijah Muhammad said they would kill you outright for in 68, we're looking at it. Now, here's the crazy part that you got to ask yourself. How did he know in 68?
Right.
How did the prophet know in 28? If we're not even thinking along spiritual lines, if you're just thinking on mundane lines, that means all of this was long planned by somebody. Okay.
Yeah. Hold that one. Yeah.
We're looking right at it. Like, wow. See? We're looking right at it. We're watching it unfold. We're watching it unfold. Ain't that crazy?
I want to answer this and say, wow, so our votes won't matter.
Okay. I will say yes and no. See, because Prophet Noble Drew Ali, again, this is deep, man. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali put us on the path of, right? When he said, restore us back to the constitutional fold. In short, among other things, what did he do? He made us model American citizens. Model American citizens. But to be a model American citizen, you have to be in tune with what Americanism truly is.
Absolutely.
But guess what? We are even the simplest, even the most simple member of the Moorish American movement knows that every American citizen has two flags. See that? Okay, follow me. Every American citizen has two flags. This is core. There's no room in that for color code race classification. So if you know every American citizen has two flags, and that is core Americanism, then you realize that white supremacy is a hijacking of core American values. So what was the Prophet Noble Drew Ali doing by doing with us what he did with us? He's holding all of America to the American social contract. That's what he's doing. So now let's go back to what you said about the vote. Yeah, that's a duty of a citizen. Duty. But look at what we're looking at now. We're looking at the dismantling of the American system of government. Right before our eyes. We're watching it happen. The dismantling of the American system of government. We're watching it happen. So in that respect, I won't say that our votes don't matter at this point. I'll say that we need to contextualize our priorities, or we need to reanalyze priorities. That's what I mean. Follow me. He said, the Prophet Drew Ali, just let's deal with those two prophecies. One day the United States is not going to be doing any business unless it's through who? Okay, let's real quick. I mentioned the OCGFC. They don't care about nations. They care about global markets and the people that the Euro imperialists have been exploiting all these years. Africa, whatever, South, Central America, the global South, now are the emerging markets.
Facts.
See that? So that's why allegiances and alliances have now flipped. How did the Bible say it? The last
shall be first.
Okay.
And the first shall be last.
So what do we represent in America? The diasporic representatives of the global South. That means not just because we have olive skin. Follow me. Because there's another thing that Elijah Muhammad made clear. He said in the Vietnam War, yeah, they had the PSYOPs program. Black man go home. It's not your war. He said they ain't gonna do that this time. You should know better. So it's not just having this skin. It is you better not have a colonized mindset. So to the rest of the world, the Nation of Islam and the Moorish side still of America look real attractive for the future of America.
Facts.
And that is the core of the struggle. That's why the prophet said the European will look death in the face before he gives it up. And we are looking at that happening.
Facts.
You see it? It's just so crazy, bro. Like he was a prophet.
And you see it now with the restrictions going into these different countries.
You see? Okay. Come on. It's so blatant in your face. We're going to get rid of all these immigrants, but we're going to bring 100,000 European South Africans. Like somebody was on my Facebook wall talking crazy earlier today, and then somebody else said something crazy under one of my posts about the immigration policies. I guess he's pro Trump's immigration policies, right? And he mentioned a particular geopolitics commentator by the last name of Wolf. He said Wolf doesn't agree with what you're saying about the immigration policy. I said, first of all, what Richard Wolf are you listening to? Because he does. I said, but you know why he agrees? Because Trump's immigration policies are not an immigration policy. Let me say it again. What he's doing has nothing to do. I don't care if he says it's immigration. It's not immigration.
Nope.
It is, plain and simple, their idea of a remedy for replacement theory. Take it or leave it alone. That's what it is.
Move you out the way, bring them in.
I don't care. Listen, you can say what you want. I'm watching your hands.
Yep. But the question is, are they efficient at the job that you're trying to put them in? Are they going to be efficient in it? And the answer is no.
Of course they're not. But here's the thing. You know, A drowning man don't care what he grabs onto.
True.
We're looking at moves of desperation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're looking at. This is desperation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See? Right? That's what this is. So you know, like I said, man, we're blessed because we have a prophet.
Yeah.
We're blessed, bro, because we have foreknowledge. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you have foreknowledge, you can intelligently and properly prepare. So the last thing, and then I'm going to run. Right? One day the Europeans going to let you down. You have to store a 90-day supply of food until your brothers from the East come to rescue you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the implications in that? It ain't your fight. Get on God's side. So
Facts.
God does the fighting.
Facts.
Keep your head low and prepare to stand up when the smoke clears.
Facts.
We are, and I've said this before, but I'm going to say it as clearly as possible, right? United States is 249 years old. Just recently, the United States Army, the oldest government institution in the country, U.S. Army, just celebrated its 250th birthday. The United States is 249 years old. China got a 5,000 plus year history. What kind of flag is the Moorish? It's a red flag with a 5-pointed green star in the center. What do 5 points represent? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. How old is our flag? It is over
10,000 years old.
Bro, it's my firm opinion, as per Manly P. Hall's book, The Secret Destiny of America, that the cake that is America is not done yet.
No.
We have not yet seen the true completed American.
Social experiment.
Right.
Brother, our prophet is a prophet.
Yeah. That was alchemy at its finest.
At its finest.
Mm-hmm.
He performed, bro. He performed alchemy on a whole nation of people, bro.
Absolutely.
The noble science of transmutation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody in the chat, man, show us some love, man. Show us some love. The like button. You know, I know the brother say he's getting ready to go, but he might have a chance for a couple super chatted questions if you want.
Yeah,
I got some. I got some too, just to cover back on what you were saying.
Please do. Yes, sir.
As far as just keep your head down. To the busy bees, keep your head down because your time is coming too.
Real talk, bro.
Like they say, this ain't our fight.
And
Real
you know,
talk, bro.
The Prophet Noble Drew Ali also stated, he said, was reported to have stated that you know, it would be a breakfast fight. You can go to sleep and wake back up, it'd be all over.
All over.
So over. You know, man, that's me, man. You know, I'm gonna go to sleep and it's gonna be all over. I'm gonna mind my business. You know
Brother Khalil, you know, he just commented about the whole capitalism comment. He's 100% correct, bro. Mm-hmm. There ain't no way in the world you could say capitalism was an invention of Europeans when Mansa Musa, I ain't got to say nothing else.
Right.
Right.
But like I said, the problem isn't capitalism. The problem is Euro-imperialist greed and their take on capitalism. See? That's the issue. That's the issue.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
Well, family, this was a great reaction.
Brother, we gotta do this more. No.
We gotta do this more.
Listen, I got bit by the bug. No, real talk, because okay, one of the things things that you all know, because we talk about this off camera, but even my other comrades, shout out to my good brother and comrade, Khalid Bey. Shout out to my brother YouTube. We got to get him on the show. My brother Rashamed, aka Nat Turner.
Whenever you're ready. Whenever you're
ready. Goodness. Listen, we pride us. You know, everybody has their little niche. You know what our niche? One of our niches is we good on our feet.
Yes,
we good on our feet. I love Q&A. Because and not because I'm arrogant, because I'm not arrogant, but I want to test me.
Absolutely.
I want to test me. I don't know what you're going to ask.
Right.
I don't know what questions are going to come.
Right. Right. Keep you sharp.
Prophet Dwali said it this way: get ready before you're made to do so.
There you go. There you go.
I want to show up ready.
Yes, sir.
See?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to show up ready. I don't want to show up lacking.
Oh, no. Oh, no. We know what lacking get us.
Lacking gets you recycled. I don't want to show up lacking.
Right. All the way.
You put in the blender. You know what I'm saying?
Lacking gets you leaking. You know how that goes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, family, I know the brother got to go. I got to go.
Yes.
You know, brother's got early days tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's in the chat, who came in the chat. Hit the like button before you leave out. Please hit the like button. Share to your social medias. Share to make your people aware. Help us out. Get us in the algorithm.
Right.
The more we're in the algorithm, the more we grow. So
that's a fact.
Help us grow. Help us help you, because we're going to continue to bring this information. We're going to have more reaction videos. Of course, this is not the first.
Oh, absolutely. I like these, brother. I like these.
Yeah, I do too. And, we'll be coming back with another one. Brother Sharif, when you coming back with the presentation?
Bro, I'll let you know soon. It'll be sooner than later. Give me a baby. Give me at the most 7 days.
All right.
Yeah, creation according to science. Give me the most 7 days.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You probably need to take all of those because I know you.
Bro, it's gonna be packed.
I already know. And people have been inquiring about the presentations. Brother,
you know what we're gonna do. What I'll do is next time you and I talk off camera, let's solidify that so we can make it available.
All right.
Yes, sir. Let's do that.
Most definitely. So, again, we want to say thank you, honest and gratitude to everybody that came in the chat.
Absolutely.
Hit the like button, leave a comment, share, subscribe. Everybody subscribe. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now.
For sure.
Help us get past. Our short-term goal right now at this point is 2,000 subscribers.
There you go.
Get us to 2,000 subscribers, and we're going to keep it moving.
Also, too, you in the chat, capture this link to this show, and please send it to our friend Coach RENZ.
Please do that. Please send it to him. Yeah, because we definitely want to have a dialogue with the brother.
For sure.
In case he sees this, I want him to hear me say, this is not a stab at you, brother.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But this is our opportunity, to straighten the crooked places along the way.
There you go. And you know what? Maybe we'll learn something.
And I'm pretty sure we will, because we're students.
Absolutely.
We're students before anything.
There you go.
I just want to say thank you. And I want to say
thank you, brothers, man.
Yes, sir. And we want to say thank you to that brother for making that video.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
You gave us some talking points. And,
for sure.
And we're going to continue to deal on these particular topics.
It's real quick. The fact that you said that, you've been around, both of you have been around long enough to know that that there was a time when nobody would talk about anything Moorish.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Like aggressively non-discussion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was on purpose. Nobody wanted to talk about this. So you're right. We do thank him. But now, you know, like it says in the book of Revelations, the earth gave up her secrets. You can't help but talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't stop the convo.
You in that age.
There you go. Can't stop the convo. Now you got to talk about it, and in talking about it, especially if you're those that wanted to keep it mum's the word, so it was never a conversation. You got to come out guns blazing. You got to come out with everything at the onset. We're prepared.
Yeah.
We're prepared.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah. Most definitely.
We're prepared. We're prepared. So, you know, and this show is an indication of the proof. Because we did this with no notes and no prep.
No. Just on the fly. You know? So like, yes, sir.
We did it right off the arm, like that golden hawk on Ghostface Killer's arm.
Yeah,
my Eagle since '94. Yeah, my Eagle since '90. Yeah, my golden Eagle since '94. Had my joint since '94, baby.
Yeah.
Did y'all see? It was a conversation going around about a breakout again for a continental convention. I don't know when, I don't know where, but there's definitely been a conversation.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting.
Because that pulls up Organization of American State vibes.
Yes.
January 1928, Havana, Cuba.
Yeah.
Wow.
I told them if that happens.
Hey, bro, we need to do a show on that, Sharif.
You know who you got to get on? I'm going to tell you who got to get on for that.
Who?
You know the people. Got to get the twins on, the Allende brothers.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They've been there.
Yes, sir. And them brothers, you know, they speak Spanish, so you know. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And matter of fact, Islam to the sheiks, man. Islam.
Yeah, Islam. That's right.
I love those brothers, man. I love
Absolutely.
those. Good Moors. Yes,
That's
sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Right. And for those who have, because the people that ask me why haven't they been on Let's Think podcast, I'm gonna say this: they contact me on a regular basis. We speak often, and they have told me that they're coming. But right now they're in their phase. They're doing they're handling some life sums, handling their business. But they will be the Let's Think podcast. And we've been speaking about that since Let's Think podcast was created and first aired. So, they will be on Let's Think podcast. I'm just waiting on those brothers. Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Listen, brothers, I got to run. Yep, I got to run.
Brother Raphael the Moore. Yeah, we see you in here. And yes,
that's right. We do love Jesus. That's a fact.
We do love Jesus.
That's a fact. Yep. We do love Jesus.
Yeah.
We sure do.
That's what these teachings are for. For those who love Jesus.
For those who love Jesus and desire to know more about his life. Y'all funny.
More about his life. Learn more about it.
Yeah, pun intended. Pun intended. Yeah. Hey man, Islam, man. We finna get up out of here, man. We ain't gonna be laughing at y'all.
Islam.
Peace.